Welcome to the Woodshed.
Hello and welcome to the Woodshed. We are back again talking about creativity, and in this case, we're talking about Super Bowl spots. We have with us Aquiles La Grave, who is an expert in programmatic advertising. He's the founder of Brandzuka and Ad Brawl. You may want to look back at the show that we did, the first show that we did on Ad Brawl, because we talk a bunch about what it is. This show, we're going to just talk about Super Bowl advertising. At the end of what Ad Brawl does is it allows you to take two pieces of creative and compare them to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's in this Super Bowl version, right? Can I say so? Yeah, you can. In the Super Bowl version, we took public data, scraped all the public data that was out there about this advertising, and then created a ranking, a score. And you can go online, you can go to adbrawl.com, you can play with this.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. But we created a score, and what's interesting for me is Super Bowl ads live in a different world, right? Where it's sort of a popularity contest, but and it's always been my issue with it. But advertising lives in the world which is just, is it garnering real attention, right? And the data is all behavioral. This data that we're looking at, like what kind of like what are we looking at for behavior around this advertising?
Yeah. So there's a number of things that we're capturing, right? We are capturing things such as did somebody decide to mute it?
Yeah.
Did somebody decide to switch the channel?
Did they run their cursor over it?
If it's a digital property, did they run the cursor over? Did they go to a different window?
So it's also measuring what
happens
on televisions when it's piping into a television. It can
That's
measure
right.
that behavior too.
That's right.
So this is sort of like USA Today is asking people to score probably between 1 and 10. I'm guessing based on their scores,
Mm-hmm.
and then they create a ranking. This is more, did you go to the bathroom? In a way, right? We're measuring behavior. Like, did you keep paying attention? Not if you kept paying attention and you were rewarded for scoring spots, what they would show up as, right?
Yeah.
What those scores would be.
Yeah, and the other way in which it's different is this happens at scale.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I think that's like, I'm not trying to say USA Today is not legitimate. It really is legitimate, especially legitimate for that venue where you're trying to watch for the game. You know, for what you're in part watching for the commercials, but it doesn't give you a good measure of how good that advertising is in the minutes after the game, because most of that advertising keeps going. It's usually launched annually in the game. So I'm trying to decide if I was surprised or not, but the results are really different.
Super different.
One of the things that bugs me about Super Bowl TV now versus my youth is that I don't think there were all those promos for shows back in, I don't know, when did I first start watching the Super Bowl? The 40s. But now it's like promo, then like what I'd think of as a branded Super Bowl spot. Then, show promo. Because CBS is, they want people to watch their shows. They want people to know about their new shows. But I find it really takes down from that sort of specialness. For me, the specialness of, I just want to see brands doing like their damnedest. Right. And when I just see a trailer, I'm kind of bummed out about it.
I'm actually curious, how are you feeling about all of these teasers on the ads? So now you get teasers for the ad, or in some cases they release the ad before
I think that
it plays
makes
live.
sense because it's part of the cultural conversation. So the teasers make, they're like trailers for movies. I think that makes sense. Let's start by just going down the list of the top 10 the top 10 spots. Should I do ad meter first? USA Today ad meter. I'll do the top 10.
Sure.
NFL 100-year game, number 1. Number 2, Amazon Alexa, Not Everything Makes the Cut. Number 3, Microsoft, We All Win. Number 4, Hyundai, The Elevator. Number 5, Verizon, The Coach Who Wouldn't Be There. Now, it's interesting that like of all of those, they all scored a 7 point something, right? So they're very close. And it's not like there's a clear, overwhelming choice that came from this. Number 6, did I say M&M's Bad Prisoners? Number 7, Bubbly. Number 8, Budweiser, Wind Never Felt Better. Number 9, Google 1 Billion Words. Number 10, Audi Cashew. So the only one I think that is the same. No, there were two that were in the top 10, 3 that were in the top 10 that are also in your top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go through them. So number 1, in terms of people's actual behavior online around consuming this advertising, right?
Right.
Number 1 was Verizon, the team that wouldn't be here. That was 15 on ad meter.
Yep.
Number 2 was Marvel Avengers Endgame trailer, which was 32 on ad meter. That kind of makes sense to me, though, because the way people are thinking, right? You're not thinking of that as like the classic Super Bowl spot, so it gets scored down. But when it comes to like what you're actually interested in, what you're viewing in a normal setting, you're pretty compelled because, hell, it's Marvel.
Well, yeah, it's such a huge cultural conversation around the final Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Right?
This next one is crazy interesting. Doritos, Now It's Hot. That was 25 on ad meter.
Yep.
Leaped up a lot as it went into real everyday advertising.
Number 3, yeah.
Number 3. Number 4 was Pepsi, More Than Okay, which that's been a very debated piece of work. In ad meter, it's 21. You're asked, you're kind of a different. You've got a different thought process, I guess, as you're thinking about it in that case. But in terms of really being out there in the wild, it's performing super well. Number 5 was NFL, the 100-year game. So that did pretty well in both. It was first in ad meter, 5 in the wild. Bud Light, which I think is the knights and the jousting, and that did a 6 on your list. It was 16 on ad meter. Amazon, Not Everything Makes the Cut, was 7 on your list, and it was number 2 on ad meter. So that's pretty consistent. I wouldn't say that that's like, but in the wild, it slightly seems to be. And again, you could run this again and get more data, and you might find, let's see. Yeah, this looks statistical. It definitely would probably not be 1 or 2 if you did it again. Hulu, The Handmaid's Tale trailer was 44 for USA Today, and it was 8 for you guys.
10.
And that's the cultural relevance of content, right? Showing up that way. And then Hyundai was number 9, and it was number 4. So that's consistent. And then Audi Cashew, rounding out the top 10, was 10 on both lists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So big differences, and then like ending with like the exact same number 10, Audi Cashew.
It was just nice to see some alignment between opinion and data.
Yeah, there's definitely alignment, and I think it's mostly just how you're asked if you're on a panel, how you're thinking, what your screening criteria is versus in the wild. Did you watch? Did you not? Did you leave? Did you go to the bathroom? You also had people on the platform who are playing with putting their own work against Super Bowl work. And you mentioned 1 or 2 that were really interesting.
Yeah, so if you remember at the last show, I mentioned that what I was most stoked about, what I really wanted to see, was some up and coming brand that could not feasibly advertise at the Super Bowl, but produce a great ad, go up on ad roll and return scores that put it right there in competitive fashion with the best of the best, because that's generally how we think of
Yeah.
Super Bowl ads. And I'm really excited about this one because you know me, growing up in South America, I love hot sauce, and I discovered a new hot sauce thanks to the Admiral.
Oh, so
Yep. Also delicious hot sauce
that's the name of it. Oh, so
commercial.
delicious hot sauce.
Yeah, also delicious hot sauce. And being from Boulder, the other one that caught my eye was the kombucha guys. What
And
what-
both of those scored as high in the wild as Verizon, the team that wouldn't be here,
That's
which was the highest of yours, and higher than Marvel Avengers Endgame trailer. So
Yeah.
huge scores, and I'm guessing the budgets for Oh So Delicious hot sauce were not giant.
I bet they did not spend $3 million on that,
Yeah.
but people liked it just as much as Verizon, and
That's fun.
Same thing with GT's Living in Gratitude. Was also tied for number one in the scores with Verizon. So that's what I think is just so neat, is to have the recognition that as a small brand and as a small agency, you can be producing work that is on par in terms of the behavioral impact that you see of that ad running.
Yeah.
As anything you see on the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's nice to know that. You know, you could wish for that, you could guess for that, but this is a really simple way to really know it, right?
And it's free.
And it's free, and you could tell your clients. Well, this was good catch up. Very interesting data. I still
awesome.
don't quite know what to do with it. It's going to take a while to it's going to take a long time. We got to just keep doing this.
We do, but
I will have you back on. We'll come up with some schemes on other ways to use Ad Brawl or use Brandzuka. Or programmatic. I want to talk to you more about that, because you're working with a lot of small and mid-sized agencies that are realizing basically their ability to compete with big agencies. So that would be fun to have you on and talk about that. We're going to wrap up now because we're out of time.
Well,
so sad.
I'm going to go take a nap, but I do have one very special shout out.
Yeah.
And no, it's not Pants for Cats. It's to Adam Mayer, who led the team on this and spent his entire Super Bowl Sunday behind the screen, making sure that all of this parsed out. So, Adam, he's a
rock star.
You're a hero, total rock star.
Total rock star.
Thanks to everybody who collaborated on AdBro. And if you're out there and want to see if your video has what it takes to be on,
throw it up there.
Throw it up there.
How is it free, by the way? How do you make it free?
Well,
I mean, it's not really free. You guys cover the cost, I guess.
No, we are covering the cost. We kind of see it as the Robin Hood of media type situation. Sweet. So we work with a ton of giant brands. Yeah. And but we have a passion for little brands.
And this is almost like remnant media that you can use and you can get this data from, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it remnant, but
I just did.
Yeah, you did, but it wouldn't be wholly accurate.
All right.
But
you make it happen. It is free, even though it's not free. Take advantage of it while it's free, I guess, because it probably won't be free forever. And we'll talk to you soon again. And thanks to everybody who's listening in. We just remind you to go to adbrawl.com if you want to check out AdBrawl. You could go to Achilles' big boy business, which is brandzuka.com. Full disclosure, I am an investor in his company, Brandzuka, brandzuka.com. Is that the URL?
That is the URL still.
Yeah,
we
and
haven't
you-
rebranded this year.
And you can hang out with us and check out some of the other shows that we've done and other shows that we will do at thewoodshedshow.com. And all you good people, it was fun to hang out with you, and we look forward to hanging some more later. Thanks for listening.